Welcome back. This look is a very classic winged outliner, but mainly the lip as the focus. So to start off, I'm using a little bit of the warm taupe out of the Anastasia palette and popping this right up into my crease. And then as my second shade, I'm taking Raw Sienna and popping this just above the crease shade and kind of layering it. I should have maybe done this one first, but I didn't, so, you know, just going back in with that colour. And then because I do want the lip to be the main focus, I'm just using a really light shade all over the lid that's more matte, and this is Tempera. I'm just pressing this right onto the centre of the lid. And then I'm using Primavera and popping that into the inside of my tear duct. And then you should already know by now, but I'm using my absolute favourite, which is the Natural Collection Black Liquid Liner, and then I am doing a winged outliner with it. And then for lashes, I actually bought these ones on Amazon, but they are amazing. They were like £1, but to stick them down to make them last a bit longer, I'm using the Duo Glue. And then I am feeling really good about myself because I've got myself into a really good skincare routine. So I'm using the Nip and Fab Dragon's Blood cleansing pads here, and then the Cetaphil moisturiser, which I had a bit of an accident with, but it's fine. Just going to pop that all over, about 1 pump. Ignore the one that I wasted, just to really moisturise my skin. And then obviously I'm taking my Nivea Post Shave Balm as my primer, popping a little bit of this all over, and then I'm using the L'Oreal True Match Foundation. Gone a little bit pump crazy with that, but I do like a good coverage. Also, the shade isn't exact for me, so I already know it doesn't match perfectly with my tan, but when I add all of the highlighting, it all comes together. Also, I feel like that always happens with foundations that you get that are L'Oreal. They're never quite right, but using this Maybelline eye eraser in light, this is kind of bringing lightness to all of the areas that I want it, and then it's not as noticeable that it's not exactly the right shade. And at this part, I know I really look like a cat, and especially now I'm contouring my nose like this, but no, it all gets blended. So for it, I'm using the LA Girl Pro Concealer in the shade Toffee, and then just blending it out with a really small little brush. And then to warm up the area around my forehead, I'm using the Anastasia Beverly Hills Cream Contour Kit, and the shade is Cinnamon. And then as I am adding all of the highlight and the contour colours, I feel like it makes the foundation not look as yellowy, which is good. So then I'm taking a little bit of the MAC Prolong Wear Powder in the medium dark, just to set all of the areas to keep it in place. And then because I want to look really golden, I'm going to be mixing 2 highlighters, but the first one is MAC Beaming Blush, and I'm just really loading up the brush and packing it onto the tops of my cheekbones, down my nose, and then just making mainly my whole face really glowing, because that's what I like. And then I'm taking my favourite, which is Gold Deposit. I love this, especially if you want to look really golden, and just layering that on the top of the Beaming Blush. To contour, I'm using MAC Harmony and popping this on my cheekbones and around my forehead. Then to set my brows in place, I'm taking the Collection Clear Mascara and popping this all the way through my brows and then spiking them up at the front. For lips today, I'm using Brick Lip Liner and then Feel So Grand Liquid Lipstick, which is a beautiful, bright, vivid red that pretty much lasts all day and doesn't really transfer. And now time for the liquid lipstick. A little tip with this one is you don't need a lot of it. I feel like when you start to layer it, that's when it feels heavy on the lips, whereas if you just do one layer, it lasts and it feels comfortable. And this is the finished look. Knowing me, I actually would keep my cat ears on to go out, but I took them off and I am done. So I hope you've all enjoyed watching. If you have, please don't forget to like and subscribe.